When you're interpreting, you're taking notes. Unless you have an ironclad memory, like some interpreters that I've seen that can memorize anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes and render accurately, you're going to have to rely on notes. I do. You could take your notes in a variety of ways. You could use pen and paper, a tablet, or a whiteboard, whatever is easier for you. When I first started interpreting, I was scared and I wanted to write down every single word the person was saying so I wouldn't forget. The problem that I created was spending too much time focusing on my note taking than actively listening to the speaker. Then, when it was time for me to render, I couldn't read my notes and I couldn't recall my memory bank because I wasn't listening. I was taking notes. Notes and abbreviations are meant to trigger your memory on what was said. They're not for writing what everybody said, which is what I was trying to do. So today I'm going to show you how I take notes, and feel free to copy some of my symbols or abbreviations. I do encourage everyone to create your own symbols. By creating your own symbols, you'll remember faster. I made that mistake too. I copied somebody else's symbols. When I started using them, only half meant anything to me. All right, let's get started with symbols. Keep in mind that symbols, one, are supposed to trigger your memory for what was said, and two, you should make your own symbols. Let's start with symbols that I make with letters. A P with an exclamation mark next to it means pain. If there's a lot of pain, you could add another exclamation mark, or you could use arrows. Lots of pain or not a lot of pain. Fever, a capital F with a degree sign next to it. Lots of fever, you could use an exclamation mark or you could use an arrow. D with a small b, diabetes. Capital B with a small p, blood pressure, high blood pressure, low blood pressure. And you could also use abbreviations that people already know, like weight, height, a small p with a capital D and a lowercase b, pre-diabetes. This is a bit hard to do because I'm looking through a camera and then looking at my list of symbols, so forgive me if it's a little delayed. I like to use this one a lot. That's right. Just a scribble up and down to me means worry, preoccupation, maybe even angry. Keep in mind that you don't want to give your symbols more than 3 definitions. Otherwise, you're going to forget what exactly you meant when you wrote one of your symbols. For example, ER, of course, that means emergency. It could mean emergency room. But don't start giving it other definitions or you're going to forget what you wrote. CF for cough. ENT, we know that, ear, nose, and throat specialist. And very common ones like H for hospital. For procedures, I like to do S inside a circle for surgery. P inside a circle for procedure. T inside a circle for treatment. Let's look at some arrows. An arrow pointing to the right means in the future. And I like to use D for days or day. So 1D, day, DS, days. You could add a number. 1 day, 2 days. Maybe next week, next month, 6 months from today. An arrow pointing to the left means in the past, so last week, last month, last year. Be careful when you're writing your symbols. Look what I just did. That Y looks like an X, and then I'll be going back to my notes wondering, why did I write XT? Should have been like this. No, it should be like this. Sorry, writing upside down like this is kind of funny. I also like to use circles, as you already noticed. A circle with across it is thinking or I thought. I think this is the best treatment for you. I use this one a lot. It means maybe, might, probably. I already introduced you to some arrows: up, high, down, low, quotation marks. He said, the doctor said, the nurse said. Another well-known symbol, RX, for prescription, pharmacy, pharmacist. I also like to use abbreviations from texting, so I don't know. BD for blood. Yes, I know these are kind of random, but you get the idea. FU for follow-up. CW, caseworker. Question marks, questions. Very simple. You don't want to go all out on symbols. You want to keep them simple and something that you know. A heart with a K, heart attack. Heart with a D, heart disease. Heart with a B, heartbeat. I like to use this from my stenography days. This is supposed to be a telephone, so that is call. You're going to get a telephone call from one of my nurses. CH for cholesterol. X can be do not take your medicine more than 2 times a day. Something else that has helped me is looking at abbreviations from the medical team. For example, I go to a lot of appointments at the eye center, and they always ask, how many eye drops are you taking, or are you taking any eye drops? So GTT means eye drops. NPV means new patient visit. RPV, returning patient visit. Today, 2D, 2M, tomorrow. Can you give me a letter so I could show it at work? And this is a good example of, instead of symbols, using words without the vowels. So if you have a very long word, you can go ahead and abbreviate it by skipping the vowels. Here are some legal symbols. Let's start with guilty. And using a slash helps to show the opposite. Not guilty. A dollar symbol means bail. It could also mean bond. Some people get a secure bond. Some people get an unsecured bond. Attorney, and I'm going to just use one T instead of the most known ATTY because I don't want to write a lot. So ATY for attorney. BAC, blood alcohol content. WOP, without prejudice. WP, with prejudice. I'm going to put a list of the symbols for medical and legal in the comments that you can download. But again, remember, you want to be actively listening. Symbols are only to trigger your memory. Speaking of triggering your memory, don't forget to like, subscribe, download, It really helps the algorithm. So other interpreters can find this video. Thank you for watching.